To finish up this section, we're going to give a reason for posting information to a database. At the moment, we've sent information to the database. In other words, we've sent either a surname or a first name to the database. But the actual operations on the database have just been to fetch information. So in other words, whatever you do, whatever you've asked, is not going to change this state at all. We could make 1,000 requests to the database and it's going to stay the same. We're still going to have Joe, Jane, Arthur and Joe in our database. Nothing's going to change. In other words, the state is as it is. What we're going to try and do now is actually put information into the database. So we're going to start adding records, but we're either going to do it through our PHP or our Python. And once we've finished our request, the state of the database is going to change. So in other words, if I sent in Kelly Holmes, I would expect a 5th record down here with Kelly Holmes, and the database has changed. To do that, really we're going to use the post method. This is where the danger of SQL injection comes in. If you're using the get method, you're exposing everything on the URL, and somebody could change that for a nasty piece of code which will delete all your records in your database or worse. So we're trying to hide that information from them by using the post, because we're going to make a change to the database. It didn't matter with the retrieving of information because the operation was only a select operation. This time we're going to use an insert operation. To do that, I'm going to just have a couple of files, one in PHP, one in Python. We're going to use a lot of the code that we've used before, but to begin with, I'm actually going to start a new file. So if we go to Notepad, there we go. If I choose File and New, if I'm going to call this one addperson.php, so we know what the reason for this file is, what it's called, which one to call, and give it some sort of descriptive name. So we're doing PHP, so let's just type away. Hopefully you'll be able to follow along on what I'm typing. I'll just do a few lines and then pause the video so that you can copy along yourself if you want. So here's my first piece of copying from another one. I'm going to go to post person and I'm going to copy the isset line and paste it in there, because I'm very lazy, don't want to type, but I'm actually going to take out this last little section and making sure I get the right amount of curly braces. So just to check, that curly brace belongs to that. Yep, I've got the right amount of curly braces. So what I'm going to do now is, because I'm adding a person, I don't just want to put their first name or their last name in, I want to put all of the details in. So in other words, I'm going to send in the first name, send in the last name and send in their age. So I'm going to copy this again just to make life a little easier for me when I'm typing. I'm going to change this line to first, so I'm going to do them in order. No reason, you can do them any way round you like. And then I'm going to have an add, and I'm going to put the last name in, then I'm going to have an add, and I'm going to put the age in. So hopefully I've got all the brackets in the right place. It was a little bit easier copying and pasting than it is just typing. Let's get some separation going on in here so we can see clearly what is going on. Okay, and obviously I've got an opening curly brace. I really want to have an end curly brace. So there's my first line. That's checking to see if the variables themselves have been set. So if somebody tries to talk to the database or use my code and they don't give it an age, then it's not going to work. So what I can say here, if that's successful, I'm just going to echo out a message. I'm going to say that the parameters have been set. Okay, so that's nice, and don't forget your semicolon at the end of the line. And obviously if this fails, such as first name, last name or age is missing, then I need to have the else clause, and in that one I'm just going to say echo parameters have not been set. So there we go, we have our first couple of lines. So we're just checking to see if the parameters have been set, and if they have, we get a message, and if they haven't, we get a different message. Let's just save this and let's run this one. So we could just try add person.php, and oops, I seem to have made a slight mistake. Oh, typical, we are we not? In, there we go. We're in PHP, so we need to finish off with the semicolon.